Good evening and welcome to the Friday edition of Source 16 News at 10. I'm Tammy Hancock. Thanks for joining us. Well, just days after announcing the death of Osama bin Laden, President Barack Obama traveled to Fort Campbell today with Vice President Joe Biden to thank troops for their service and honored soldiers who helped bring down a terrorist leader. Here's Marie Fainer with more.
101st Airborne Division Air Assault, hello!
Fort Campbell soldiers could hardly contain themselves at Hangar 3 as President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden expressed their gratitude to thousands of troops who recently returned from their year-long deployment from Afghanistan for their service and sacrifice.
On behalf of America, this has been a historic week in the life of our nation.
President Obama then spoke highly about the Navy SEALs team and Fort Campbell's 160th Special Operations aviators who helped bring down terrorist leader Osama bin Laden.
They're America's quiet professionals. The success demands secrecy, but I will say this. Like all of you, they could have chosen a life of ease. But like you, they volunteered. They chose to serve in a time of war, knowing they could be sent into harm's way. They trained for years, they're battle-hardened. They practiced tirelessly for this mission. And when I gave the order, they were ready.
Obama also talked about his main goal for U.S. troops.
And most of all, we're making progress in our major goal, our central goal in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and that is disrupting and dismantling, and we are going to ultimately defeat al-Qaeda.
During his speech, Obama credited the efforts of the 101st Airborne Division for crippling terrorist networks like al-Qaeda and the Taliban from carrying out attacks.
We put al-Qaeda's leadership under more pressure than at any time since 9/11, on both sides of the border. So the bottom line is this: our strategy is working, and there's no greater evidence of that. Justice finally being delivered to Osama bin Laden. But I don't want to fool you. This continues to be a very tough fight. You know that. But because of this progress, we're moving into a new phase. In the coming months, we'll start transferring responsibility for security to Afghan forces.
During his visit, Obama privately met with soldiers with the 160th Special Operations Regiment who participated in the May 1st operation that killed the world's most wanted terrorist. Marie Fainter, Source 16 News.
In other news, a shooting that sent a 35-year-old man to a hospital this afternoon is being investigated by Clarksville police. Around 2:05, Clarksville police responded to the 300 block of 8th Street in reference to a man being shot and found the 35-year-old man sitting on the curb. Witnesses told police they saw the victim running in the area of Kellogg Street and Ferris Drive and then saw another man exit a white Mazda pickup truck and fire multiple handgun shots at the 35-year-old man. At some point, police said the victim was shot near Kellogg Street and Ferris Drive, but fled on foot from the scene down 8th Street until he sat down on a curb in a parking lot in the 300 block of 8th Street. The shooter, who police believe knew the victim, fled the scene in the pickup truck, and the 35-year-old victim was life-flighted to a hospital. If you have any information about the shooting, contact Clarksville Police's tips line at 931-645-8477. Meanwhile, two Clarksville men got a surprise when they tried to commit a burglary at a residence earlier today. Around 9:45 this morning, spokesman Jim Knoll reports two burglars got a surprise after they kicked in the door of a Kim Drive residence, and a 27-year-old female who was home alone grabbed her .40 caliber handgun and fired at the two burglars. The burglars quickly fled from the house in a 4-door Dodge Neon, which was located and stopped by a police officer within a couple of minutes in the area of Holiday Drive. After getting a positive identification by the victim, police arrested and charged 31-year-old Marcus Tanner of Clarksville with 2 counts of aggravated burglary, 3 counts of driving on a revoked license, and simple possession after officers found marijuana on him while taking him into custody. The second burglar arrested by police, 22-year-old Danny Martin of Clarksville, was charged with aggravated burglary. Both men were lodged in the Montgomery County Detention Center. A local mayor, some local attorneys, and a high school science teacher are among Governor Steve Beshear's appointments to state boards and commissions this week. Hopkinsville Mayor Dan Kemp was appointed to the Commercial Mobile Radio Service Emergency Telecommunications Board of Kentucky. He will represent the interest of commercial mobile radio service providers and will serve a term expiring August 15, 2014. 3 local attorneys were appointed to the Prosecutors Advisory Council. Marshall County Attorney Jeffrey Edwards of Benton will represent attorneys from other counties. Christian County Attorney Mike Foster of Hopkinsville will represent county attorneys from a first or second class city or urban county government. And 56th Judicial Circuit Commonwealth Attorney G.L. Ovey of Eddyville will represent Commonwealth attorneys from other counties. The governor also appointed high school science teacher Marie Renee McMillan of Murray to the Education Professional Standards Board. She represents secondary school teachers and will serve the remainder of Mary Hammond's term, who resigned. As floodwaters slowly recede in land between the lake's National Recreation Area, some camping and lake access areas are reopening just in time for the weekend. LBL officials report lake levels for Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake crested Wednesday night and are currently at 372.4 feet. While many LBL boat ramps, campgrounds, lakeside campsites, trails, and roads are still closed due to flooding, the areas that open today included Energy Lake Campground, some Fenton camping sites, Nickel Branch, Twin Lakes, and Star Camp. Turkey Bay off-highway vehicle area is still closed due to saturated soil conditions and current flooding, as well as Piney and Hillman Ferry campgrounds. LBL officials say all reservations affected by campground closures due to lake level flooding will be contacted by staff and given full refunds. Visitors should observe all barricaded and closed areas for visitor safety. For more information, you can visit their website at lbl.org. Marshall County officials are asking property owners to inform them of any property damage incurred from recent severe storms and flooding. Marshall County emergency management officials say this effort is vital to capturing information which will be placed for a federal emergency management agency or FEMA damage report via the State Regional Coordination Center. The information will serve as a record of impact and will be forwarded to city governments for their information as well. Individuals who call the hotline will be prompted to leave your name, telephone number, and 911 designated address. All property owners who have suffered damage, including home, business, and agriculture, are encouraged to call the hotline at 270-527-8657, no matter where you live in Marshall County. The Kentucky Department of Education has selected ACT Incorporated as its vendor for end-of-course, or EOC, examinations for the state's public high school students. The contract period is from May 9th, 2011 to June 30th, 2012 and is for a total of over $5.4 million. Senate Bill 1 requires a new public school assessment program beginning in the 2011-12 school year. ACT Incorporated will provide assessments for English 2, Algebra 2, Biology, and U.S. History through its Quality Core program, which is syllabus-driven and will include curriculum and instruction support materials. The EOC assessments will be administered throughout the year as students earn credits in each course. In addition to the EOC assessments, Kentucky students in grades 10 and 11 also will complete writing assessments. Kentucky also contracts with ACT Incorporated to provide the educational planning and assessment system, which includes the ACT for 11th graders, Explore for 8th graders, and Plan for 10th graders. Well, it's been a big week in Louisville leading up to the Kentucky Derby race tomorrow, and today was no different as a wave of pink washed over Churchill Downs for the 137th Kentucky Oaks. Today was the 3rd consecutive year for the Kentucky Oaks Pink Out Day event, part of the Horses and Hope program founded by First Lady Jane Beshear and the Kentucky Cancer Program, where racegoers are asked to wear pink articles of clothing to raise breast cancer awareness. For each person who attended the races today, Churchill Downs officials donated $1 to the Susan G. Komen Foundation. Churchill Downs also donated $1 to Horses in Hope for each of the Oaks signature Lily drinks throughout the day. Prior to the Oaks race, 137 breast cancer survivors chosen through an online nomination and voting process participated in the Survivors Parade as a reflection of race fans' support for breast cancer survivors. Since the program was founded in 2008, Horses in Hope has hosted breast cancer race days at major racetracks across the state, including Ellis Park, Turfway Park, Churchill Downs, and Keeneland. Our own Jack Keys will have more on the Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby, as well as the news on the latest scratch coming up in sports in just a few minutes. District 8 State Representative John Tilley of Hopkinsville visited Millbrook Elementary School students yesterday afternoon to discuss their work on how they are encouraging local residents and business owners to conserve energy by taking simple steps like shutting off their computers when it's not in use. The 4th and 5th graders involved in the school student technology program presented Tilley with their project called Why Not? Throughout the year, the 5 students collected data on why business owners and residents have been hesitant to recycle and conserve energy. Tilley told Source16 that he was amazed by the students' efforts.
Well, I think it's fantastic. I couldn't be more impressed. I mean, first of all, they gave this amazing presentation without notes. They're well informed, educated, and what they're doing is so important. They're really making the rest of us aware of things we can do to conserve and recycle and protect our environment. And at the same time, if you're, for instance, a business owner, which one of their keys was to go to businesses and convince a business how to meet their bottom line by saving some money.
The students will be presenting their project during a statewide competition with other technology leadership students on May 13th in Lexington. Well, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $12 million and Saturday's Powerball jackpot is up to $50 million.